In this week, not only do we bring on a guest speaker, but we talk about something that is extremely relevant for any students out there. Hi guys, I'm Jonathan Amon. This is Rooftop Rant number 3, and I've got John Schwantner here with me. We were talking yesterday, and he brought up something that was totally aligned with a topic that I feel like many of us might be dealing with.
I'm a college student. I'm 21. I'm paying my way through junior college. I'm having trouble staying motivated in school when I have opportunities right now to drop out and start focusing on a career.
It took me 6 years to get my college education, and it's funny because now I don't even use it, and I feel like that's something that you're hearing so often from people even in the workforce, even if they are doing what they went to school for, not really using their degree. And so, when I was in college, as John's in college now, it's tough to stay motivated and keep the motivation there to not only show up for class, but to actually do the homework, score well on the tests, especially if you're not academic. I'm definitely not academic. But that's tough to keep that going, especially like John was saying, when you have opportunities. So, I mean, what, like, on a daily basis, are you feeling like you just don't have the motivation? Like, what are you telling yourself to keep going at this point?
So here's the thing. College lifestyle, when you're paying your way through class, isn't the greatest.
It's all about top ramen,
Yeah.
little hot sauce on the top.
Yeah, the poor college student. So right now, I'm just trying to tell myself that my career options are better if I have a degree in hand than it would be if I dropped out right now. But like Jonathan said, that's not always true. What is important to focus on when you're in school to help you stay motivated?
How you can stay motivated is to view school as less of something to get your specific degree, but more of that exercise for life and being able to be productive no matter what you do. Because let's just take, for instance, let's say John, what are you getting your degree in?
I am studying kinesiology. I hope to major in physical therapy and get a job as an occupational therapist.
If John wants to be an occupational therapist, but let's say this killer job comes along, an opportunity to own a restaurant, let's just say. Now, John's a big foodie. For those of you who know him, he loves to cook. Imagine if he had an opportunity to do that, or maybe write a recipe book, or maybe you launch a product line revolving around some food or some dish that he was making, or he had some special corner on that market. He might decide to not apply his experience and his education in physical therapy and instead kind of go a different direction, right?
Is that degree even important at that point?
Yeah, well, I think it absolutely is. Regardless of whether you're studying physical therapy or if you're in culinary school, you're exercising the muscle of taking a subject that you don't know anything about and learning how to assimilate it quickly and then produce results. And I think that's kind of the point that is really often skipped over in school. It's less about learning specifically what you're supposed to be learning and more just learning how to learn.
Can you exercise that muscle outside of school? I can focus on, work in the workplace.
That's such an awesome question, because you're totally right. You can learn those skills outside of a job or outside of school. You can just learn it teaching yourself how to code or how to use Photoshop or any of those things. So then you're asking, I guess, then why the degree? Why spend the money? Why spend the time?
Why spend the time? Why am I being a poor college student when I can still learn outside of the traditional education system? I will have the experience in teaching myself that I'm going to classes that I don't really want to attend.
Well, see, you are getting it going to the classes that you don't want to attend. That's where the people who, like School of Hard Knocks, that's where those people are able to constantly and consistently bring value to the market. And they do have great jobs and all that. When you have a degree, it's just like a ticket, to go to a concert. Maybe you can't make it or whatever the thing is, that you don't end up going to the concert, but at least you have that ticket. Having that piece of paper gives you the opportunity to open some doors that you may not have the opportunity to open before. Now, I started Common Sense Events. No one's looking at my resume saying, oh, I see you have a degree here in business management. Great, you know, here's some money. Your company is worth something. No, my company revolves around providing a valuable service to the marketplace. Now, let's say that I decided to quit doing that. I can still take my degree and use that as a ticket to go and get in that door. Not only walk in the door with your degree, that's kind of what that whole experience gets you, but then also knowing and having the practice from those years spent in school, tackling each new topic to teach yourself and build upon the other topics will help you build that muscle.
So at the end of the day, what we're trying to say is, even though work experience is just as important as going to school and getting the experience that way, one offers you more opportunities than the other. You're coming away with more opportunities.
Again, though, it all depends on what you do with it. It depends on how you look at it. And if you go to school and you're saying, I may not ever use this degree. Oh, I may not, this may not mean anything. That's going to cut into your motivation. Rather than look at it as something that you're absolutely going to need, look at it as you would going to an exercise, a workout in the gym. You know, look at just exercising those muscles of taking a subject, taking a chapter in the book, taking a homework assignment, whatever it is, and doing whatever you need to do to be able to solve that thing right in front of you. Taking it like that rather than just thinking about it big pictures like, oh, will I use this degree or not? You might get distracted, discouraged, bummed out that it's not going to be relevant, instead of channeling your focus in a different direction. And that kind of allows you to bite off smaller pieces of it too and make it through semesters rather than just thinking about, oh my God, I have 4 years or 5 years left or whatever.
All right, guys, for now, I'm going to stay in school. I'm going to work towards that degree. We'd love to hear more of what you guys are going through in school.
Subscribe to the channel, and
Don't forget Facebook Live on Wednesdays.
Let us know your thoughts, like self-education, going kind of the work route, or the scholastic.
Yeah, we know this is an
route.
issue that more than a
Us.
lot of people
Yeah.
struggle with. So please feel free to share with us.
Yeah.
And, thank you, Jonathan.
Definitely. All right, man. Sounds good. A takeaway point, something that you can help use to decide whether you need your degree or not, and if you should stick it out, is think about where you want to be when you're 40. You know, think about 40-year-old you, or if you are 40, think about 60-year-old you. But just think if what you want to do absolutely requires a college degree, if what you love to do absolutely requires a college degree, I would recommend sticking it out. But you kind of have to figure out not only what you want to do, but why you want to do it. And so take some time, self-awareness, do some reflection, like we talked about in last week's, and just jot down where you want to be. Write that down on a piece of paper so you can come back to that and then use that as your driving force as you go through your daily and monthly and semester activities. When you feel like not studying, when you feel like putting the books down because you're worried that it's not going to matter, you can go back to that piece of paper and just realize how important it's actually going to be. Study hard, or if you're not going to study, work on educating yourself, providing value wherever you're at, and we'll see you all next week. And how could I forget? Make sure you subscribe to this channel, comment below. So many different opinions about how you should handle this, and I'd love to hear from you. Or ways that you've handled staying motivated. So make sure, like I said, subscribe, like, comment, all of that good stuff below here. And then go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Jono Amen is the tag there, and then that is what it is on Facebook as well. Take care, guys.